All rise, please.
Good morning, everyone. If you'd please join me for O Canada, followed by a moment of quiet contemplation. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Please be seated. Welcome back, everyone. I hope we had a great holiday and your heads are clear now and your eyes aren't still blurred from all the celebrating and ready to get down to work. Looks like we got a good day today, but it was a little bit hair raising there when that ice storm came. We already had the one in 100 years. We didn't need two in 100 years, but luckily some heavy snow in some of the areas. But boy, you got to give it to those roads guys. I know, especially in Ramara, but even county, they were out everywhere, putting a lot of hours in over the holidays so that we could get around and party. So I want to thank the roads crew for all the hard work they did during the holiday season. And with that, I'll look for roll call. Jonathan.
Thank you, Warden. Good morning to members. With the hybrid meeting, we have a mix of members online and in person, and you have a full attendance of council members today, Warden. You have your quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Just unlocking my computer. So with that, I will roll call agenda approval. Councillor Dolan, please.
Thank you, Worship. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Fryer that the agenda for January 13th, 2026 meeting of County Council be approved.
Any questions rising from the agenda? Not seeing any, so all in favor? A minute, I don't see any. Opposed? There's none, so that is carried. Thank you. Do I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest by any member of council? Not seeing any. If you find yourself in that situation later, please declare it at that time. Presentations and delegations, we have none, but the consent agenda. Councillor Burkett, you have it in front of you, sir.
Good morning, Your Worship. Through you, moved by myself, second by Councillor Norcross, that the Council Communications and Proclamations, November the 25th, 2025 to January the 12th, 2026, having given due consideration, be received.
Thank you. I think the only one that popped up was Friday, January the 9th. Yeah, the AGM. We have now a new chair of the Western Wardens, and it's Marcus Ryan from Oxford, and then Kevin is still the vice chair. So I look forward to working with those two gentlemen over the next year. Kevin Marriott, I apologize for that. That's the only change in that. So I got the motion. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. See where we're at here. Kind of out of practice here. You give us, you'll keep an eye on the screen. Perfect. So adoption of council minutes and confirmation committee reports. Deputy Warden, please.
Good morning, Your Worship, and Happy New Year. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Walker, that the following council minutes be confirmed as adopted. Joint County Council and Committee of the Whole minutes of November 25th, 2025. Joint County Council and Committee of the Whole confidential minutes, November 25th, 2025.
Any questions arising from the minutes? I'm not seeing any, so all in favor. That is carried. Thank you. Presentations and consideration of committee reports. Of course, we have none. It was combined county council at the end of the year. So presentations of special committee reports, none. County officers reports, none. No notice of motion, none which have been given. No closed session, no bylaws. So we're just on to announcements. That's the thing when you have a combined meeting at the end of the year, there isn't much business to wrap up. Any announcements? All the Christmas celebrations are over, so nothing under the announcements. So I will look for the confirmatory bylaw. Councillor Norcross, do I have him in attendance? Yes, there he is. Anytime, Richard?
Sorry, Your Worship. Move by myself, second by Councillor Burkett, a bylaw to confirm proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the County of Simcoe at its meeting held on the 13th day of January 20th. Oh, that's the wrong one, Your Worship.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm kind of moved by myself and I don't have that. Was that the right one?
Oh, Jonathan's got it here.
I believe the motion you're looking for, Councillor Norcross, is the bylaw number 7160-26 be enacted as a bylaw of the County of Simcoe.
That's the one I was reading. Okay, so thank you very much. So I'll move by myself, seconded by Councillor Burkett, please.
Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. And now the adjournment that the January 13th, 2026 meeting of County Council be adjourned at 9:07 a.m. Moved by Councillor Michael Smith, second by Councillor Fryer. All in favor? That is carried. So we will, next scheduled meeting, of course, Tuesday, January 27th. We will now just roll in the committee of the whole. I don't think there's anybody out there. I see Councillor Collis is already here. Is there anybody else? You'll go check. Thank you.
Mayor McIsaac's here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Councillor Dunford's here too. Durnford, sorry.
Jonathan's got them, so thank you, Councillor Follis. We will look for a roll, call the meeting to order and look for a roll call here. Jonathan?
Thank you, Warden. So in addition to the members in attendance on council, we're joined by the city representatives, Aurelia Councillor Durnford, Aurelia Councillor Fallis, Aurelia Mayor McIsaac, Barrie Councillor Nagusi, Barrie Councillor Riepma, and Barrie Mayor Nuttall is currently absent. You have your quorum. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you. So I'll look for approval of the agenda. Councillor Dolan, please.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Cox that the agenda for January 13th, 2026 meeting of Committee of the Whole be approved.
Any questions arising from the agenda? Not seeing any, so all in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Do I have a disclosure of pecuniary interest by any member of council? Councillor Cox? No. Oh, you're good. Okay. Thought I saw your hand up. I'm not seeing any disclosures. If you find yourself in that situation later, please declare it at that time. Presentations and delegations, all sections, we have none. So we'll look to chair measures for human services.
All right. Thank you very much, Your Worship. Good morning, members of committee, and Happy New Year to all. We have the Human Services consent agenda, and I'll go to item CCW 2026-007. It's the Paramedic Services Honor Guard update. GM Sinclair is here if she wants to comment on it, but I will jump in and just say that the Honor Guard have done an excellent job representing the county, representing the service of the paramedics, as well as simply just being a terrific add to any great event that happens in our community. And so I'm very, very pleased to read this update. GM Sinclair, do you have anything you want to add before we go to questions?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would echo your comments. We're very, very proud of this team. It is a volunteer team that has represented the County of Simcoe for over 20 years now. So we're very pleased to provide an update on the activities of this group. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions on the consent agenda item? None from the floor? All right, then I'll look for a mover and seconder, perhaps Councillor Van Stavern and Councillor Smith, Brian Smith, that the following consent item having been given due consideration be received. Nothing further. All those in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Chief Mills, for the work that your team does. Human Services, we have any other matters? We do have another item in here, which is the Age-Friendly Initiative Update. It's CCW 2026-005. A very interesting read, I felt, committee that was in here. GM Sinclair, would you like to comment on it as well?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Again, we're very pleased with our age-friendly program. You can read from the report. We have a number of key initiatives that have been very successful over the past number of years, and we're pleased to move forward. I will note we are actually being recognized at Roma for our recent recognition by the World Health Organization. So we're very pleased how this program has evolved and certainly the support from County Council. Thank you.
Indeed. I look forward to that. I'll be at the Roma conference as well, so we'll look forward to hearing about that. Great report. Anybody from the committee have a question or comment they'd like to add? Is there somebody online? Sandhu, Mr. Sandhu, I don't see you on mic. All right, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. I just want to say thank you to the staff. This is such a wonderful program. I'm not just saying this as a county councillor. I'm saying it as someone that experienced firsthand. My own parents applied for a grant, which resulted in them getting a stair lift, which allows them to move freely in their own home and not be confined to just one floor. And I must say the staff was excellent to deal with, and they went over and above without knowing who I was, and they helped a lot. And I want to say thank you. And this is such a good program for our seniors or anyone that that requires help. So thank you, Jane. If you can, GM, if you can pass it on to your staff, please.
Well said, sir. Very, very well said. I think that's excellent item. I see Councillor Cox is indicating. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm glad to see that over the years, more people are applying, because I know for a while it wasn't. And I also want to thank Jane Sinclair. She really helped out a seniors group in Washago right off the bat, and they're doing very well up there with their meeting every Wednesday. And it's just really good to see that I'm hearing a lot of people happy about that calendar also. So I just think it's a really good program, and I hope more people see it and get out and do it. So I think we all need to spread the word on this. Thank you.
Excellent point. I will bring attention then to also the corporate communications team that do a good job promoting and letting people know when these application grants are available, et cetera. And so I appreciate the work that they're doing for our communities as well. If there's nothing further, looking across the floor and online, all right, then I will ask Councillor Sandhu, would you like to move this? And perhaps Councillor Cox as seconder, that item CCW 2026-005 dated January 13, 2026, regarding an age-friendly initiative update be received. Nothing further, I'll call the motion. All in favor? And that carries. Thank you very much. Your Worship, there is an item for a closed session, which is on our agenda, but I will turn the chair back over to you at this time as there's nothing further underneath other business.
Thank you, Chair Measures. Yeah, items 13.1 and 13.4 on the agenda. While I've got the city reps here, does anybody wish to have discussion on those items? Is that you, Councillor Gordon, with your hand up? No? Okay. Anybody wish to discuss those items, and we can go in camera now? Not.
Councillor Leduc.
Yep. Councillor Leduc, you'd like to go in camera?
Yeah, I'd like to just discuss 13.4.
Perfect. So then what I will do then is I'll read the motion and we'll go in camera that, hang on one second. Moved by Councillor Leduc, second by Councillor Lavoie, that the committee of the whole resolve in the closed session at 914, under the authority of the Municipal Act, Section 239-2C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by a municipality or local board. We'll do with 13.1 and 13.4 while we're in camera. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. We'll just wait till we get set up here. Okay, we are live again. I've got all the council here, so I will report on the two motions that were passed in camera. The first one was moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Cox. The direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026-022 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by a municipality or local board be approved and voted upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. And that was voted on and carried. And the next one was moved by Councillor Measure, second by Councillor Norris. The direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026-020 dated January 13, 2026 regarding a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land be approved and voted on upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act, and that was voted on and carried. So with that, I will now turn the chair over to Chair Dolan for corporate services, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Warden, and Happy New Year to my colleagues.
I just said I'll thank the city reps, and you folks can go whenever you're ready. Thank you. Sorry, Councillor.
No worries. Thank you. So we're on item 7. It's a consent agenda. We have 7 items on today's consent agenda. 7.1 is a letter from New Tech regarding a request to preserve recycling for small businesses and community organizations. 7.2 is the NBCA regarding the board submission for the proposed regional consolidation of Conservation Authority. 7.3 is the Town of Ajtos support resolution for Joint Water and Wastewater Municipal Services Corporation. 7.4 is the Town of Bradford, West Gwillimbury regarding rural intersection enhanced lighting. 7.5 is the Town of Collingwood regarding opposition to proposed Conservation Authority restructuring. 7.6 is from the LSRCA with their 2026 draft capital and operating budget. And 7.7 is also the LSRCA regarding the proposed boundaries for regional consolidation. So with that, I'll ask, is there any items that Committee of the Whole wishes to pull from those 7 items? Councillor Leduc.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to pull 7.4.
Thank you. Councillor Norcross.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 7.1, please.
Thank you. Anyone else want to pull any of the other items? Councillor Lebois.
Yes, thank you very much. I'd like to hear a little bit more about the Ajtos proposal on an MSC.
Which was item 7.3.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. So then what I'll do, oh, sorry, another one?
That's
Sorry.
okay. If we're going to discuss 7.1, I will declare a conflict of interest.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Councillor Bell. Duly noted by the clerk. Any other items to be pulled from the consent list today? I'm not seeing any, so could I have a mover and a seconder, please, that the following consent items 7.2, 5, 6, and 7, having given due consideration, be received. Moved by Councillor Michael Smith and seconded by Councillor Bell. All those in favor? That is carried. So now we'll go to item 7.1, and that was Councillor Norcross.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, Happy New Year to everybody in the chambers. I've done some speaking with the County of Simcoe, the ward, and the CAO. My understanding is that we have a few recycling trucks from Miller that are under contract to the county, and that we may have some ownership in them or some obligation. In speaking with the BIAs and the nonprofits, I have sent a request into the county that is there a possibility that we may be able to use these trucks or contract these trucks to pick up the recycling in the urban areas of the downtown cores, for example, for businesses, and that there might be a fee or whatever's involved so that we can make sure they receive the same level of service while we're waiting for the province to do something. So I'm not sure if there's other members of county council who have urban areas or with the downtown cores that are struggling as well with no recycling pickup for their small businesses and other institutions, if there's an appetite to go forward with this.
Thank you, Councillor Norcross. I'll go to GM Elliott and then Councillor Cox.
Thank you, through you, Chair. I'm going to defer over to our Director, Rob McCullough.
lots of discussions lately about this issue and our contract with Miller as well. So if Rob, you could give an update, I'd appreciate that.
Thank you. And through you, Madam Chair, we can do anything. We did bring this matter before council previously, and it was our opinion that if we're going to service every ICNI location in the county, the cost on a per unit basis would probably be 6 to 7 times as expensive as what we're doing right now, because you'd be running all over. If you wanted to, and council had at that time agreed with it and decided not to pursue, I'll leave it to the clerks as to when the timing was on that and whether this is a concern for changing council's position. Staff would be happy to take this away. We'd have and write a report on that if that's what you'd prefer. We certainly do have a good contractual arrangement with Miller. They do have dedicated trucks for us. Whether they'd have capacity to do this or not, that's something we'd have to discuss, and we'd have to look at the cost of that and whether we would sole source that to Miller or go out for it. And we'd need to know better. Are we talking every ICNI location in the county? The church out on a rural road as opposed to a downtown business improvement area. Our position has always been that we offer the same service throughout the county. So it would be a difference if we decided, okay, we are going to service businesses in a downtown core, but we're not going to do those that are out in rural areas. And we can take that away if you wish to direct us to and come back with a report on that you could help us scope out what you're seeing for that as county council.
Go ahead,
Madam Chair.
Councillor. Yep, go ahead, Councillor Norcross.
Thank you. I would request that, Madam Chair, because there is a struggle that's going on right now, and a lot of people are having a hard time adapting to what's happened. So I think if we say, no, there's nothing available, but present an option, I think they would appreciate that. And then they consume what that option is and then make a decision based on that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Norcross. So can I ask through Mr. McCullough, so are you looking for all ICNI? Are you looking just for BIAs, just for downtowns? What did you want to put a scope on that?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, is that directed to me or back?
Sorry, I was directing that to Councillor Norcross.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would start with the BIAs and the downtown cores, because that encompasses a lot of the businesses, places of worship, nonprofit institutions that are all located in that catchment area. So that's what I would propose to start it going. Of course, whatever anybody else would like to add, I'm more than agreeable to it. But that would be my focus, because in that catchment area, we have a lot of places that do not qualify, and they have different representation. Whether it's a food bank, whether it's a church, whether it's businesses, but they're all in that catchment area. So that would be my preference, please, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Norcross. I think Councillor Cox.
Yeah, through the chair. We're finding a problem in Coldwater, and one of the reasons is all the stores that are back onto the river have no place to put a bin or any place to do anything like this. So that is an issue with us too. The other one is I'm getting comments and calls on does the cost, and maybe I've missed this, so this is through to Mr. McCullough, the fact that we're not picking up recycling anymore, where's the savings? And now when Councillor Norcross has said this, is this do we still have a contract that runs through with it? I would like some information on that, because I'm not quite sure how to answer people on this one.
Thank you.
I didn't know if this was also an opportunity to ask a couple of questions about MTerra, or is that something else?
Yeah, I think we can do that. I'll go to the director first about the costs.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Through you, Madam Chair, there is a difference this year. The main difference this year is that we used to get compensated well over 95% for all the recycling we did at our facilities. That's flipped on its head, and we'll probably get compensated for about 5%. So the cost at our facilities for drop off or recycling, that's why we've instituted a tipping fee there. That aside, I've seen some comments like you have, that, are we saving our taxes because we're not providing the service anymore? I'd remind council that we've actually been fully compensated for our full costs of recycling since the County of Simcoe transitioned on January 1st, 2024. On 2020, in the budget and the actuals for 2024, there was an $8.5 million savings overall by the increased compensation we were getting through the provincial group for recycling. So that's been in place since 2024. There's no real change. Essentially, in real round numbers, let's say recycling cost us $15 or $16 million. Well, we used to get 15 or 16 million. We'd pay out to contractors like Miller $15 or $16 million, and we'd get back in compensation since 2024 in and around that same amount, $15 or $16 million. What's changed now is we don't have to pay for it as of 2026, but we also don't get compensated, with the exception that our facilities, we through our recycling depot agreement that we've signed, we now are able to take unserviced residents, which are mostly seasonal roads that we can't provide service to, and multifamily apartments that don't get service for recycling. So those are the major changes, and I hope I've answered your question with respect to that.
Oh, you have. Thank you very much. But is there somehow we can get that information out to our residents? Because I think it's important. And you know where I'm going with that? I want us to be, I mean, we're very transparent, but they just aren't, I think they need to understand what's going on because, and I'm going to roll into Tara, because of the frustration, and I understand that they just started, I get the whole thing, but the frustration people are having, and I think they're going to have, and I just worry that people will just get frustrated and angry and just start throwing things in the garbage, and that's going to be the end of it. And we've worked so hard for a wonderful recycling program here, and we've been noted for our wonderful recycling program, and that just is upsetting, you know. And I'm getting calls about I can't get hold of anybody, and I'm like, well, I tried too, and I finally did, and that was fine, but. Anyway, you know where I'm going because you probably heard the same thing I have. And just on a positive note, I need to tell you this. We had a day here in Coldwater where it snowed, and then the snowplow came, so people moved their recycling back, and then they put it out, and then they move it back for the snowplow. And the Miller man came down our street, and he noted that the man at the end of our street had moved his back down the driveway. He got out of the driveway, and he rolled it all the way up, and he put it in the truck, and he rolled the organics up, put it in the truck, and he took them back down again. And I need to find out from you, it was December 30th, because this gentleman on my street would really like to thank somebody at Miller for I mean, he is a wonderful person anyway, we all know, but that was just over and above, and he was very happy about that. And I think it should be noted. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Chair Dolan. I think that with the recycling, most of the calls that we get as a council and staff, we sent a letter to the Premier and also to MPP Brian Saunderson with little back, like nothing's come back. But there was talk also that the province may be looking into actually doing something more so for the nonprofit, but didn't speak to the ICI. But I think too that when we look at different downtowns, some of the businesses aren't classed as downtown, but there's many businesses in very congested areas where I don't know where bins would ever fit in those areas. And also to everyone else's point that we would be getting more in the garbage than what should be going in there. But I would also like to know what Councillor Norcross's point, when you're talking about BIAs and everything, is that going to be funded somewhat by them, or is it going to be just that we're all taking back over? There's so many open-ended questions, and
getting a report back, I think, is probably a good start, but I wouldn't want to see one or the other, the ICI or the nonprofits. They're both going to be suffering, the small businesses or your food banks, your churches. They all are not prepared to have that kind of money to be able to do anything to get rid of their recycling. So those are just my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. Councillor Walker, did I see your hand?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Just further along the lines of the discussion, one of the groups that I'm hearing from is our Legions and also our food bank. And could staff not investigate the potential of, rather than pick up, that a voucher system of some sort is provided to those groups and they can bring the recyclables to the transfer station of their choice and not be charged a tippage fee? We do assist our Legions in other ways, such as taxes and so on. And I think that that would be something if staff could at least look at it to see if whether or not it's a feasible option. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Director McCullough, did you want to respond to that, or are you just taking notes for the report?
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. I was taking notes, and I think it would be best explored in the report that we're discussing.
Thank you, Councillor McClellan.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to add that if we are going to bring back this report, I think it would be a good idea to also add. Look at it not just for our downtowns, but give us some options about all the IC&I, because I know specifically in New Tech, none of our Legions are in the downtown cores, and most of our churches aren't either. So if we can ask that report include an option for all IC&I, as well as looking specifically at our downtown cores, I wouldn't want to leave anybody out of us exploring what we could possibly do next. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McClellan. Councillor Leduc.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I certainly want to support this report, and I think it should be looking at all of the, and Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 2,100 ICI drops that we were looking at throughout the county when you brought your reports. I'm just, you know, I look at this and we had so many reports and it's been going on for years. And when we were talking about doing this, the ICI issue, we hadn't finished negotiations with Ontario. And I know when we reviewed the budget, you showed the 39% reduction in revenues and the 8.8% increase in expenses based on, and it worked out to be a 5.9% increase in costs. So overall, I'm still confused with the numbers. I'm not sure how that works. I don't know how long our contract with Miller Waste is still. I don't know what the year that we renegotiate that contract, because we did hire them to do, organics, recycling, and garbage. And if they're under that same contract, there is every week that truck goes by and it's only going to pick up organics. And I'm not sure why it can't just pick up recycling through the ICI system. So to me, I'd love to see that report. I'd love to see it that incorporates all of our ICI that we've got now on our list of areas that we picked up the recycling, to see if there is an absolute cost, or if there is some way that we can do this to support our it's really our mom and pop shops. Really, it's a small business. We talk about ICI, but it's our local business in the downtown cores that, like most of you have said, there's just no room for these bins. We have these recycle bins that they're trying to hide beside their business, and it's wall to wall. So to me, I'd love to see this report come back and find ways to do this in a way to support our small local businesses in our downtown core and throughout our communities. Because it's like you said, the churches, the food banks, the Legions, they're not in our core, but they are important parts of our community, and I want to make sure that we can find a way to help them. And I just love to see, there's been so many reports, and if we could just get this report refined to find out where that revenue was in the past, where we are today, because I can remember from a report, Rob, you said it was $4.2 million that we had that was going to cost us more to do this. So I just wanted to see where we are with our Miller contract, and where we can maybe pull this off without increasing costs to people. So I'm fully in support of the report. And Councilor Norcross, I would say straightforward that we should look at all of our ICI that are already registered with our within the county, so that we incorporate everybody, and then we can maybe refine that report to cut out BIAs or downtown or whatever, but I'd like to service them all if we can.
Director McCullough?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify a few things through you, Madam Chair. The 2,100 number for IC&I units is correct, but that's the number of IC&I units that actually use our service. There's over 5,000 IC&I units, and you can imagine Honda Canada is not going to put out a 95-gallon recycling cart, right? So 2,100 is the number that are basically, it can be places of worship, food banks, small businesses and downtown cores that have been using our recycling, garbage, and organics program.
And that's the number I was referring to, Rob, that I'm not saying to add to it, the number that we already service now. That's the number I was looking at.
Yes. Yeah, fair enough. We will look at that in the report. I would remind that the economics are very different. Once we collect the material, we have to have a place to transfer it. So we're going to have to look at what's available for that, because we cannot take it to the same under the same rate that the residential. We'll have to pay out of pocket, which includes some significant cost of transfer, haulage, and processing. So we'll look at all those aspects to let you understand what that's going to look like. I would agree that talking with Miller is a possible thing that we need to look at if we want to pursue that. Yes, they're going and picking up organics only on 1 week, but you've got to remember, so they're picking up from roughly on 1 week, 75,000 serviced units for organics only. If we add in half of this 2,100, so let's say 1,000 on recycling, we have to have a place to put that on the truck. Right now, they're using both sides of the truck for organics, and it would only make sense, therefore, on that split to use the small side. I've got some pretty significant concerns that using the small side of that truck for recycling would cause contamination in the organics, because the amount of room that's in the hopper to dump a 95-gallon cart, we've got some investigating to do to see whether that's possible.
Thank you, Director McCullough. Councillor Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think there's one thing I want to make sure that we include in this discussion as well, and it's, I realize there's problems out there. I realize that, and I'm in favor of a report to further clarify what that ICI component is and possible solutions to all this. This is a problem that's been hoisted on us by somebody else. So don't forget, and I don't want anybody to forget here, that $8 million or whatever is the amount that we're not getting anymore, is we're not getting that from the provincial government. And I see a huge advocacy piece here. We're going into trade show, or no, I call it trade show season, conference season coming up with Roma this weekend. This is screaming for advocacy, not just in the county of Simcoe, but across Ontario. This is something that's going to be common everywhere. And this is frankly a dead balloon that's been thrown on us. And frankly, we have to come up with a solution for it. And anything that we do in terms of this report should be, I think, identified and contextualized, if you will call it that, for a solution from the provincial government. To be able to just walk away from an existing recycling source and say, well, too bad, so sad, you go find your own way to get rid of this stuff, is frankly to me unacceptable and naive to think that people are just going to, find some other way when we're not giving them an opportunity to. So I'm happy in terms of the County of Simcoe finding a way and a solution that works for us. But at the same time, we should be, providing a solution that can be implemented across the province and something to deal with this problem, because we're not alone in this. And there are a lot of other communities that are going to have the same issues. And we should be ramping up our efforts and advocacy from the County of Simcoe in Ontario to come up with a solution from the ministry and forthwith. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I'm going to echo some of what Councillor Evans said, but first I want to give a giant thank you to municipal local staff and the county customer service teams, who I'm sure were inundated over the holidays with calls of why didn't my recycling get picked up, and having to go through the explanation, even though it's been communicated over the last several months. of the change happening on January 1st. So a big thank you to that staff, a big thank you to the county staff for making available extra trucks to Mterra that were under contract to us to help them do their job easily. I'm sure the kind of my gut reaction would be let them find out on their own how difficult this job is, but we didn't. We took the high road, and as CAO Aiken always says, the high road is a county road. So I want to thank staff for that. And it does show the public that what looked seamless and easy isn't seamless and easy. And when you try to get the producers to do the same thing, they're realizing quickly how we made the job look easy, but it's not an easy job to do. I'm in favor of the report coming forward. I'm a little frustrated because we've been advocating to the province of Ontario. We saw this cliff in front of us 3-4 years ago, and we've been advocating relentlessly to have it, to have them do something about it. And of course, nothing was done. So I hope those that are attending the Roma conference this week will take the time to go to the Ministers' Forum and maybe ask a question to Minister McCarthy as to why this is happening. I'm in favor of looking at the concentrated downtowns and also the ICI, but keeping in mind that some concentrated downtowns don't have a formalized BIA. So I would be reluctant to say just BIAs unless, of course, there's a financial contribution from those BIAs if it's just going to be them, because my issue would be explaining to one IC&I why they're subsidizing another IC&I getting it and they're not getting it. But if there was a reason, if you could say, well, those BIAs are actually financially contributing to it, then I would have no trouble explaining the fairness of that situation. But in the end, part of it too is, are we going to keep being downloaded different services by the province, and because we get the phone calls at home and we get the people complaining, we're going to keep providing a service that the province has said that they're taking over? And, you know, I've heard the premier say, you know, if it's broke, we'll fix it. You know, we're going to make this work. We're going to fix it. So I think we need to be really cognizant of the fact that before we just, you know, jump in and use our property tax dollars to fix the province's problem, we should be identifying the scope of it and saying to the province, this is what you need to fix it. We've told them that 3 years ago, but now that it's actually, now the cliff is here, and now they can see that, yes, there was a problem with it. So those are my comments, and I'll go to the floor one last time before going to ask Councillor Norcross if he's got, or if the clerk's got a recommendation for Councillor Norcross to move. Seeing no other, yeah, go ahead, Councillor Lavoie.
Yeah, sorry, and thank you very much for saying what you did say, Madam Chair. I don't believe that we should be accepting a provincial responsibility either. And the minute you begin to do that, then you adopt it in perpetuity, or there's a risk that you'll do so. So I think as part of the report that we should identify the costs, and we should indicate to the province, these are your costs. We can't back charge them, unfortunately. It's not that kind of a contract, but, you know, more information is more opportunity for us to communicate with the province and enlighten them on what they've let loose here. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, did you have a proposed recommendation?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair, and through you to perhaps Councillor Norcross listening to the conversation. A potential motion could just be to refer item 7.1, the letter from New Tech, back to staff for a report outlining potential solutions, including the feasibility of utilizing the county contractor or other service options for small businesses and community organizations.
Councillor Norcross, does that work?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to include, I think that hits it on the head. I'd like to see the businesses. I'd like to see the service providers. I'd like to see all the nonprofits, everybody that's been, I guess, excluded from the program. What can we do? What is possible to do to see if we can provide that service while the province works it out? Thank you. So yes, I'm in agreement, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Measures is seconding that. Now I see a card. Councillor Cox.
I totally agree with what you said, Councillor Dolan. So with this motion, that's one thing, and we're going to talk about permits and different things. But I really believe that what you said and Councillor Evans said, I don't know if the warden can talk to his Western wardens and those, but we need to do something here. You're right. Like we shouldn't be paying for their mistakes, and we shouldn't be always picking them up and propping them up. And I think we need to send a strong letter or motion or something, and I'm not sure what to do. So I'm looking to staff to see if, or someone to help me out with this, because we can't just get a report back and decide to use our money to prop them, as you said. And I don't know, we should be doing something more. We've tried, I know that, but maybe now that people are realizing that I'm going to tell you, it's a mess, that maybe more people will step in and step up with this to help us out.
GM Elliott.
Thank you. And you rightfully pointed out that the county has been advocating to the province for quite a long time about our concerns around this transition. And we are seeing some of that come to fruition. I think when we do report back, though, one of the things that will become apparent is that if we were to continue to use Miller or another service and pay for this as the county, unfortunately, we will have lost the economies of scale and the efficiencies of a robust system. Director McCullough for 2 years has been using the analogy of it's frustrating to see that if I buy a can of Pepsi and I throw it out at home, the producer is now responsible for it. But if I throw it out at the barber shop, they don't take responsibility anymore. So we've been advocating for this. We will continue to advocate for this. We thought come September of last year that it looked like the province was going to allow municipalities to pay for this service through MTER or whoever the local collector is. They stopped short of that just around our budget time. That was disappointing as well. So we're going to continue to advocate for that. But through other mechanisms such as RIPCO, the Regional Public Works Commissioners Association, potentially AMO and other avenues, we will continue to lobby this. But we will report back as per council direction here on what those options are and what those costs are. But giving up on the advocacy is something that we wouldn't want to do. We want to keep reminding the province of the benefits of the recycling program. We don't want to see ourselves step backwards in terms of our diversion rates, but we think that those efficiencies should be realized through this transition to producer responsibility.
Supplemental then, I know in the past we've talked about having our MPPs come to our meetings and hearing our concerns. Maybe we should reach out again for all of them to come, because this is a major issue to all residents in all of Ontario. And I totally agree about the Roma thing, but I just feel like we need to be doing something more. And I don't feel like, I mean, I have constituents who are calling me and saying, I've called the office, I've got no reply. And I realize it's been a short time, but I'm feeling very frustrated, as everybody else is, but I just wondered if there's something more. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Chair Dolan. So who more than, your municipalities, your county, go and back every business, every organization? We're always there. But who goes and campaigns loud and clear that they are for small businesses and nonprofit? It is our province. And I think we need to do a campaign to turn it back onto them, saying, you are what you say you are, then you need to help those, not create more costs, more anxiety and everything to small businesses or to all your, like your Legions, your food banks, all of them. One isn't more important than the other, but the one that is champion on everything about small businesses and nonprofit is our province. And I think if we campaigned loud and clear, not just through the county, but to what I think it was Councillor Cox that said through the wardens, the warden can take it places, but we all can take it somewhere to all of our BIAs, to our Chamber of Commerce and everything, and make it loud and clear who is standing up for our businesses. Then we'll see. And it's just a comment, but I think it needs to be done louder and further than just our four walls that are here with our colleagues, and further than our municipalities. It needs to be out there that because we are, our municipalities, our county are for our businesses and our nonprofits, but we need to have it bigger because the big dollars are stopping at the province to help us. So we need to take it back and show them that they need to come back to the table to support our business and nonprofits. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McDonald. I know because this is a province-wide issue, there'll be a lot of chatter at the Roma conference starting on Sunday, but also having this report back, we'll be able to actually, put a number to it so we can quantify what the download has been to the County of Simcoe. Warden, did you have something you'd like to add?
Just a quick wrap up, and I will double down on what General Manager Elliott said, that, yeah, we did lobby very hard on this, and the Western Wardens. It was on their radar as well, because we weren't the only municipality that was providing this service, and thought they were close, that they would at least have a surcharge for those 2,100 that we do, that you pay a nominal charge and they pick them up while they're there. I will support this report coming forward, though. Sending a new truck down the road is going to be a considerable cost if it is trying to hit all these locations, though I do like the idea of the voucher system for the nonprofits and the churches to help them out. I can't help but look at the irony of this, that we were second in recycling, I believe, and first when it came to all the counties at a nominal or no cost to the Simcoe County taxpayers. And now that it's all under producer responsibility, we're going to be looking at a healthy charge to our residents now if we want to continue the same service. So very, very disappointing. And yeah, we're at Roma. We got to start leaning on our local MPPs, as do these businesses themselves. Need to really start reaching out. At some point, they have to start listening to us.
Thank you. Good discussion. So if I could get the clerk just to reread, it was moved by Councillor Norcross and second by Councillor Measures, the resolution, and then we'll go to vote.
Through you, Madam Chair. So this is to refer item 7.1, the letter from the town of New Tecumseh regarding urgent request for provincial action to preserve recycling services for small businesses and community organizations, and that be referred to staff for a report back outlining potential solutions, including the feasibility of utilizing the county contractor or other service options for small businesses and community organizations.
Seeing no other hands, we'll go to the vote. All those in favor of the recommendation? Any opposed to that recommendation? That's carried unanimously. Thank you. And now we'll ask for Councillor Bell, if someone could go out and tell Councillor Bell we're done with that item. And we'll go to item 7.3, and that was Councillor Lavoie that pulled that.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam Chair. I was interested in hearing a little bit more with regards to both the petition and the recommendation that a joint water and wastewater municipal corporation be formed. The Township of Oromadonte does have a municipal service corporation, and within it is our own water services. And also from staff here, whether or not they see that as a benefit to the county, or maybe a report's required, or maybe the broader region in terms of petitioning the province to pick up the water and wastewater services, as they seem to be a way to annex lands. So just put that on the floor if anyone else wants to comment on it. Thank you.
So before we have a motion then, is there anyone else who wanted to comment on this? Jim Elliott, did you have any comments?
Thank you, through the chair. I certainly could speak to the opportunities. It's been studied over the years here at the county about evolving water, wastewater service delivery across the county. I believe it's fair to say that the province, through a lot of funding that they've released over the last couple of years, have recognized that something different has to happen. And we are expecting to be engaged in conversations with the province. And as you know, we don't have a role in water, wastewater today, other than delivery at the Lake Simcoe Regional Airport, where we are the conveyor of water, wastewater there. But we've been asked to start participating. Those discussions have not commenced as yet. But as you know, the province is rolling out a municipal service corporation delivery model starting in Peel region, and they've expressed an interest in exploring options up here within the county as well.
Councillor Anderson?
Thank you, through the chair, and just to provide some context, so we did have a deputation come to Agitas-Ranio Council last year, mainly from a community in Colgan. The petition was mainly in that area. It didn't incorporate other serviced areas within the municipality. And the concept is the county has had those discussions over many years, and there is a willingness to see if those discussions can still proceed. So again, just some background there to support the idea that there could be efficiencies for the county to look at a service corp. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of notes of caution from my perspective right now, from someone who currently owns an MSC, is that the province and the new Bill 60 that they're coming forward with for Peel, I believe it's called the Water and Wastewater Public Corporations Act. If you compare what an MSC is under the Corporations Act and what this new Bill 60 is, they're really quite different animals. The Municipal Services Corporation is, wholly owned by the shareholder. The shareholder is the municipality. The municipality still sets the rates for the water and wastewater. Whereas this new Bill 60, the devil's in the details, when you look at it, it's very much governed by the province. It's the minister who sets the water and wastewater rates. And there's a lot of nuances that are quite different, including the standard of care and the Safe Drinking Water Act that we are still responsible for, whereas the new Bill 60, the province has made it so that it is indemnified from that. So there's lots of nuances at this point, and my suggestion would be to watch and see what happens in Peel first, and kind of, sometimes they say it's the second mouse who gets the cheese. Let Peel go first and see how it works out, and then perhaps look at it at that point. But that's just my gut reaction at this point. Director Millet, did you have any comments? Did I see your hand? No? Okay, sorry. Councillor Fryer.
Thank you, Chair Dolan. And I was just actually going to express appreciation for your comments, because I noticed that when I was reading through the Bill 60, as you said, a lot of open-ended and nuance to it, because being familiar on the electric side with the restructuring and then moving to the Ontario Energy Board as the governing regulatory body, I think there's a lot that has to be worked out on this. So going to be watching it carefully. So I support what you were saying, is that probably need to be looking at this in a longer term basis than just jumping in and looking and trying to study it straight up as a MSC solution.
Thank you, Councillor Snell.
Thank you, Chair, through you. If through this discussion a report is requested from staff, I would also like to see included the current rate for wastewater fees, wastewater fees for each municipality, so that we can see how it will impact our individual municipalities' ratepayers, and also to some consideration on how municipalities would be compensated for those that did foreplan and invest in their infrastructure and have capacity still. I think that has to be taken into account to make sure that things are fair.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So I'm not seeing, sorry. Councillor Norcross.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo what Councillor Snell just said. Of course, we all want to work together and improve our municipalities, but there are some municipalities that have made significant investments in their water and their wastewater. And I'll use an example. New Tecumseh and Collingwood have made significant investments. So, you know, there has to be consideration for those that have taken those steps because we were able to take those steps. And I know there are municipalities that weren't able to didn't have the opportunities, but consideration has to be given to those that have gone forward and to make sure that the investments we've made that we have not lost. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, my concern is if we ask for this right now, we'll end up with the PUC model and not with an MSC model. I'm going to go to Councillor Hamlin and then Councillor Cox. You're on mute, Councillor Hamlin.
Okay, sorry, haven't done this for a while. I just wanted to echo your comments, Madam Chair. I think we need to see how Peel rolls out. I have heard that it hasn't been the smoothest rollout, and I think there will be lessons to be learned from what's happening there. Also, the province, I understand through an environmental registry post, reached out to see who could help service South Simcoe. And I believe those efforts are going on right now to sort these things out for South Simcoe. So I think there's so many balls in the air. You know, I think we'd be well poised to just sit back and, you know, give it a rest even for 6 months to see where it's all falling out. I think we're going to have a difficult situation in the county because, as has been mentioned, some municipality have put a lot of resources into these kind of assets. And of course, some of our municipalities have put none. So it's going to be challenging to sort out, never mind all the provincial overlay and new legislation. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cox.
Yeah, I just agree with you, Councillor Dolan. I think we should sit back and wait. We've already seen what happened with the Emterra, so I think it's probably a good idea just to let's wait and see what happens. But if the county is going to be talking to the province, maybe you could ask them if they could probably put some more money in that fund, because I know there's a lot of us who have applied and there's probably no hope for us and we can't proceed any development until it happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm not seeing any changes to the recommendation. So the recommendation is to receive. Mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Evans and Councillor Lavoie. All those in favor? That is carried. And next is item 7.4, and that's Councillor Leduc.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I was just looking for council to refer this back to staff for a report to look at enhanced lighting in our rural intersections. It is in Bradford, we've seen a significant increase in accidents. Really, it's really what the push here is. It's accidents. At one of our intersections, we had 1 to 3 accidents in the past, and in the last year, we've had over 24 accidents at this intersection. So that's just one of them, and we've seen multiple accidents at many different intersections now. The traffic has increased exponentially over the last 10 years. We've seen traffic double on some of our lines. They're using them as throughfares to bypass some of the construction that's going on. So we're just looking at potentially looking at some solution to help make it safer for people traveling on these lines and coming to these major intersections when it comes to 27 line, Fifth Side Road and County Road 4, if we can look at some solution for that. And I look at even your in Miss Valley, Madam Chair, you have larger stop signs with flashing lights, and something like that would be, I think, a benefit to all of us when it comes to accidents. We want to try and reduce accidents in all of our communities. So this is what I'm looking for, is a report from staff to come back to see how this could be done and what the cost would be. So I'm looking for somebody to help refer this back to staff for report.
Councillor Norcross, are you seconding? Or are you?
Yes, Madam Chair, absolutely. I agree with Councillor Leduc. We have the same issues here in New Tecumseh. So I'll absolutely support Councillor Leduc, and I'll second your motion, sir.
Jim Elliott, any comments on the report back?
Yes, thank you, Chair Dolan. We've already arranged to meet with staff at the staff level with BWG staff. We'd be happy to report back on the findings and any recommendations. We do have a policy today about illumination on our rural roads. Whether or not that might need updating or any revisions, we can report back to council on that.
Thank you. Councillor Sandhu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to hear that county staff is meeting with our town staff. Whatever it needs to take to make our roads safe, we need to look at it, and I look forward to that report, because it's so important, not only in Bradford West Gwillimbury, but throughout the county. As Councillor Norcross mentioned, it was an issue in his area, and we have seen it in Innisfil. So I look forward to that report, and thank you to the staff for working with us.
Thank you. Councillor Evans.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick question to GM Elliott or someone in the team with regards to lighting at intersections on county roads. I'm sure there's rules. I don't know what the body would be that governs that, but I'm sure that, like everything, there's protocol to follow. Does that align on a township level as well on different class roads? And maybe that's something that we could include in the report as well. So if we're going to go, I want to glean your information, glean your intelligence, and so make sure that our townships are aligned with what's in place at a county level as well, given that there's county roads in all of our townships and cities and towns. So make sure that they're all aligned. Thank you.
Jim Elliott.
Thank you through the chair. You're absolutely right. We do follow the MTO standards based on road classification, but I might refer to our director, Millie, to speak to that in a little bit more detail.
Director Millie.
Thank you, and through the chair. There are certainly rules in place, and part of our policy for illumination of rural intersections, we do actually follow the Transportation Association of Canada guideline in terms of warrants for illuminating rural intersections. And then that does apply equally to county roads as well as township roads. And that's something we'll look at as part of the report coming back.
Okay, through you, Chair. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I just want to give the opportunity to people to know where we're working off of. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this item? Councillor Lavoie.
Yes, thank you. Would it be possible to consider cost sharing on those intersections that are township and county as part of the report?
Jim Elliott.
I think we could report back on what the financial considerations are and arrangements today. And if there's any warrant to change that, we can address that in the report.
Thank you. I'm not seeing any other hands, and so I will call the question on a report back on this item. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. That takes care of our consent items. And so under engineering, item 8.1 is the Barrie Collingwood Railway encroachment. Any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, could I ask for a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Anderson and Councillor Doris. That's item CCW 2026-009 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding the Barrie Collingwood Railway encroachment agreement be received, and that the encroachment agreement with the owner of 5783 30th Side Road and the Township of Essa adjacent to the Barrie Collingwood Railway be approved, and that the warden and the county clerk be authorized to execute the encroachment agreement attached in draft as Schedule 2 to item CCW 2026-009. All those in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. Are there any other matters of consideration for corporate services today? Seeing none, back to you, Warden.
Thank you, Chair Dolan. Chair Evans, if you would do performance management, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. And yes, moving on to performance management, the consent item. We have one item today, which is a letter dated December 1st, 2025, from the Township of Oro Medonte regarding requests for support of Elect Respect campaign. Any comments or questions on this item? Seeing none at this time, can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Councillor Rawson and Councillor Dolan, seconded. Thank you so much. And the motion is that the following consent item, having been given due consideration, be received. All those in favor? Thank you very much. The motion is carried. Moving on to performance management finance item, we have one today. The item is CCW 2026-033, which is our annual borrowing bylaw, this one for the 2026 version. Are there any comments or questions on this item? Pretty straightforward. I think we all do these on both levels. So move forward on that. Can I have a mover and a seconder for this one? Councillor Walker, thank you very much. And Councillor Fryer seconding. Thank you so much. The motion is that item CCW 2026-033 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding the borrowing bylaw be received and that the necessary bylaw be presented to County Council attached in draft as Schedule 1 to item CCW 2026-033 to allow the county to borrow temporarily on its line of credit as may be necessary during the year to meet its current payment obligations. All those in favor? Those opposed? If any? Thank you very much. The motion is carried. Are there any other items for consideration under performance management? Councillor Dolan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I apologize for missing the boat on this one, but I just wanted to go back to the Elect Respect just for a moment and thank Mayor Marianne Mead Ward from Burlington for championing this particular initiative and just understanding that, you know, everybody can agree to disagree. We can be vehemently opposed on items, but still respect one another's opinions. And, you know, going into a municipal election in 2026, I know there's a lot of really qualified people who would do a very good job as a leader in their communities, except for the fact that they do not want to put up with the vitriol that that certainly that you're required to put up with as an elected official. So I just want to commend County Council for passing this motion.
Thank you very much, Chair Dolan. Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just unfortunate that this has to come to this, and people actually have to stand up and have rules for good behavior and decent behavior and treating each other with respect. But I applaud the group that has put this together. I think that you're right, that attracting people to this position does sometimes have its negatives, and especially as it identifies here, marginalized people, some women in politics, and frankly, everybody. And it's great that the organization is there. I will comment, and on a personal level too, I think we talked about a code of conduct. It's unfortunate that we have to deal with this, but I still think it's forthwith on us to put in place a procedure that it allows us to be able to deal with those that transcend and transgress the generally accepted rules of interaction. And it's unfortunate we have to do this, but I also think that it's a great case for a code of conduct on a county level and being able to, unfortunately, have that tool in our toolbox if we need it. So, any other comments? Thank you again, Councillor Dolan. That's great. Any other comments on that? Deputy Mayor or Deputy Warden, sorry.
Thank you, and through you, Chair. I think it's just to be noting that individual members of council are encouraged to go on and take the pledge. So it's one thing for the House to support this, but individual members to go on and take the pledge and to share them with your local municipalities as well.
Great, thank you, Deputy Warden. Appreciate that. Any other comments, questions? We didn't have any other items for consideration under performance management, so I'll pass it back to you, Warden. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Evans. And I had 3 other closed session matters, 13.2, 13.3, and 13.5. Does anybody wish to in camera to discuss any of those? Not seeing any in the House. Yes, you would like, Councillor Snell would like to go in camera?
Yes, please, Your Worship, for 13.3.
Perfect. We will do that. So I will read the resolution that Committee of the Whole resolve in a closed session at 10:26 under the authority of the Municipal Act for Section 239(2)D, labor relations or employee negotiations, and Section 239(2)E, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Moved by Councillor Snell, second by Councillor Norris. All in favor? That is carried. And we'll deal with those 3 items. Thank you. Okay, we are back live. So now we've already passed the motion to rise, so I'll just read those public motions now. The first one, 13.2, the direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026 004 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding labor relations or employee negotiations be approved and voted upon with accordance to section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. That was moved by Councillor Fryer, second by Councillor Laux, voted on and carried. Next, we had 13.2, moved by Councillor Miskman, second by Councillor 13.3, moved by Councillor Miskman, second by Councillor Evans. The direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026-020 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land be approved and voted upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. That doesn't seem to read right. But
That should be under the authority.
under the, go ahead, Jonathan, can you correct?
Yeah, thanks, Warden. There's just a clerical error there. So the public motion on 13.3 here should read that direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026-020 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, be approved and voted upon in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act.
And that was voted on and carried, moved by Councillor Miskman, second by Councillor Evans. And lastly, I have 13.5, moved by Councillor Lavoie, second by the Deputy Warden. The direction in camera and recommendations contained within confidential item CCW 2026-024 dated January 13th, 2026 regarding labor relations and employee negotiations and litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunal section affecting the municipal or local board be approved and voted on in accordance with section 239(6)B of the Municipal Act. I'm getting the nod on that one, and that was voted on and carried. So lastly, I will be looking for a motion to adjourn at the January 13th, 2026 committee. The whole will be adjourned at 10:44. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by who's online here? Councillor Sondu. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. I believe we have economic development following. What do you think? 11 o'clock, Mr. Chair?
11 o'clock sounds fair.
So 11 o'clock we'll reconvene for economic development. Thank you.
order for the Economic Development Subcommittee for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. I'm going to need approval of the agenda. I need to move it a seconder, please. Councillor Cox and Councillor Hamlin. Is Councillor Rawson present? Okay, good. All right. I just didn't. I see a little head in the corner there in the county council chamber. I just want to be sure. All right, perfect. We have no. Does anybody have any disclosures of interest that they need to address? Hearing none. Okay, we're going to go into matters for consideration. Item 7.1, 2026 Simcoe County Federation of Agriculture Business Plan and Funding Request. If anybody has anything they'd like to address with this, by all means, now would be the time to speak up. All right, Councillor Cox.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm totally in favor of this. The Federation helped me for the Coldwater Fall Fair. They gave me a ton of information. Our theme was fields to forks or plates, and it went over very, very well. They have a ton of excellent information and things for children to do. So if anybody is belongs to a fair committee or is having any event, this is the place to get it from. I think it's a wonderful plan they have. And I totally agree. And I really am excited about their events and the safety program for children. Thank you.
I'd just like to add that it's not just children. It can be big kids as well. I remember when they gave us a chance in Innisfil to drive the tractors and learn all about the machinery. So that was actually very fun, very incredible. Always educational. And it's always good that they have everything prepared and planned in advance. Okay, such being the case, I need a mover and a seconder to receive this report, please. All right, Councillor Hamlin. Councillor Warden. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Warden Clark. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Item 7.2, 2025 Tourism Progress Report. If anybody has anything they'd like to address in regards to this report. Councillor Hamlin.
Thank you, Chair. This is a great report. I just had one question. I couldn't help but notice on I think it was in the schedule. I just couldn't find it looking quickly now. But how many but the visibility in terms of people looking at Midland's page attached to the county's page for this, how high the numbers were. They were like the top. And I'm just wondering if there's any lessons to be shared from our staff on that.
Through you, Mr. Chair, thank you for that question. I think the reason for that increase of numbers in visitation to Midland site is the municipal accommodation tax that we are administering on their behalf. So that's an infusion of dollars that we've been able to allocate by some product development, some social media, some campaign. So it really is largely to do with the municipal accommodation tax funding and being able to spend it in order to drive traffic, which is exactly what it's intended to do.
Okay, so maybe just as a follow-up, Chair, maybe this is something for the staff level, but how other municipalities could achieve, the kind of traffic without having the county as their eligible tourism entity.
Can
Yeah.
I just like to say something? I also think it's their butter tart festival. No, really. They bring in, no one can do what that butter tart festival does. Sorry, but I totally believe that that's probably a big hit on that one too. If you would look at other sites of different places, if they have a big event, I would probably say that that's probably the hit. Like people are wanting to know when it is, how to get there, how they, the whole transportation thing. And I'm not belittling anything else on it. I just think that that's probably one good reason why.
Okay, well, I'll just leave that with staff if they can sort out, how other municipalities who aren't using the county can ensure, other than having a butter tart festival. And I totally understand what Councillor Cox is saying because I love those butter tarts there. Yeah, that was it.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I would make a further comment yet to Councillor Cox that yes, indeed, absolutely the Butter Tart Festival, and as the Butter Tart Festival grows year after year, and as we allocate more dollars to advertising it, because that's what's happening, and like you say, more people getting the word out far and beyond. So absolutely, and through you, Mr. Chair, to Councillor Hamlin, a great way for other municipalities, staff to work with us would absolutely align with our work plan. So just to see the type of advertising that we're doing digitally and what's successful. So when they're if their eligible tourism entity would like to meet up with us, and we can show, what we've done and what's successful. And we're more than happy to work with all staff within the county to pass that information along.
Yes, Councillor Cox.
Yeah, through the chair. I also believe too, Catherine, that the RTO 7's calendar and all the other little extras that I never knew about until I got on this committee and I was on the BIA and Coldwater. There are so many places to get the word out that you add them all in together and you get the big ones like RTO 7 and the county, and for us, Lake Country, and then a couple of our smaller chambers. It really makes a difference. And if they have their calendars out there, that is a big hit, and that, people see and want to go to. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else anyone wishes to add? Such being the case, then I need a mover and a seconder to receive the report EDS 2026-002. Very, Councillor Hamlin, need a seconder. Councillor Rawson?
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favor? Perfect. Item 7.3 EDS 2026-002, Tourism Simcoe County 2026 Work Plan. Okay. Yes, Councillor Hamlin.
Yeah, I'm very interested today in the county's role with Midland, and I think I saw Miss Wasaga Beach is taking up this as well. And I'm just wondering around the details of it, because we haven't totally finalized, and I know a lot of other of our municipalities are, getting into the MAT business as well. Are there separate agreements that are entered into with municipalities or any kind of policy that you can share with how this would work with, I guess, other staff? We don't need it all, the details here, but thank you.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, absolutely. We're more than happy to work with all staff within the county, and quickly to add that, yes, we do enter into formal agreements with the municipalities as the eligible tourism entity to administer the promotions portion of their MAT. So we have run that through our legal department, Midland being our first. And so it's great because we pretty much have it templated now. So we're easily able to, make changes as the municipality sees fit. But indeed, it is a formal agreement, and always happy to share with all staff in the county.
And just as a supplemental, Chair, so have we hired additional staff at the county for this role, or how exactly, or are we? We're not farming out the work. I'm taking it, or just how are we handling all the additional work? Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Not at the moment, we haven't. We have been able to handle the additional projects within our own staff complement currently. However, when more municipalities come on board, the thinking is that we would need to add extra resources to spend the amount of money that we could see, coming, being received through a municipal accommodation tax. So to date, we have not. However, down the road, we could be looking at more resources.
Okay, thank you.
We don't know, farm it out, no.
Councillor Cox? You're on mute.
I'm looking at through the chair to Catherine, I'm looking at the arts, culture, heritage, tourism, and it says implementation of festivals and events recommendations developed by BC Hughes Consulting. That was the workshop you put on?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, that was the workshop that we
Yeah.
conducted.
So did I miss something? But I don't think I saw those, or do we get to see them?
Through you, Mr. Chair, it's coming. So BC
Oh, it's coming. Okay, I thought it
conducted the
sounded here like you
workshop.
had them. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And we've just received the report back now. So we're working with the consultant to say, okay, we've had the initial workshop. We've met with the stakeholders. Now, how do we take it to the next level? How do we continue this on? So there will be a report coming to this committee next month or March.
Good. I just want to say that I thought that that was a really good workshop. I think I was the only elected official there, but it was very interesting, and I think a lot of people got a lot of information and learned just from networking with the comments on how they do something or how they found, like I learned a lot from that. And so I just want to thank you for that. That was excellent. And if anybody has a chance to go, if you're going to have one next year, you should go. It's very informative.
Up to your work as always then. Okay, such being the case, does anybody have anything else they wish to add? All right, then I need a mover and a seconder to receive item 7.3 EDS 2026-002 Tourism Simcoe County 2026 Work Plan. Councillor Hamlin, Councillor Cox, all those in favor? All right, do we have any other matters for consideration, considering we're starting off the year on a good foot? No? Okay. Oh, yes, Councillor Cox.
I know. I'm going to beat this topic with a stick. So I'm just going to throw it out there again. Have you thought any more about, I know the festivals and events was good, about getting different municipalities together to discuss their events and you know, working together on that whole thing? BIAs, et cetera?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, that's exactly what that we're hoping, and that this report does just that. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Catherine.
All right. We have no matters, confidential matters for consideration, so I will be calling for the adjournment of the January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Economic Development Subcommittee at 11:13 a.m. I'll move in a seconder, please. It looks like Councillor Russin and Warden Clark. I'll say. All those in favor? Carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
So back